Hi, welcome in for this latest first quarter moon financial layout for Cardinal Rose Tarot. My name is Cynthia, and this is a new sort of installment of work that I'm doing for my channel and for my business, but I had a lot of disruption to my flow in the last couple months, and it resulted in me not tracking as well the first quarter moon cycle, and so I got a little bit out of alignment with doing this work, but it's something that I really want to do and I've been really enjoying. And I just realized also, for whatever reason, my little notice that I get when it is the first quarter moon didn't happen for me, so I caught on recently and thought I'll just go ahead and do one now, and I'll just do a recording without a video, and just so I can help myself get back into the motion of doing this once a month. You can call that karmic energies, you can call it just being distracted. To me, it felt a little bit like karmic interference trying to disrupt my flow, but that's, not everybody sees the world like that, right? It could have just been my own difficulty focusing with the holidays and income stressors and things like that, right? And so this is a nice time to kind of come back down to earth after that crazy cycle of the holidays and spending and stress and finances, and let's just tune in to our financial, which way the wind is blowing right now for us in business and in finances. Interesting. So this is going to be something where I upload a picture of the spread, and you're just going to get the recording version. And so, do you see what I mean? Even that is like, that's not a typical disruption for me, but it's just, as soon as I sat down to do this, it's like everything in my house went cattywampus trying to it's karmic interference is what it feels like to me. But one of the nice things about karmic interference is that it's not as strong as you. Once you recognize what kind of stuff that is, you just learn to work around it. And don't let it stop you, right? So we have an ace card, and it's the triangle here. It's the inverse triangle, so we're going to get descriptions of that, but it's the pure element of feelings. So something about finances is very protected to our emotions and our feeling right now. There's a lot of need to visualize, need to tap into the heart, and also even need to tap into our blood, right? Like the blood, sweat, and tears of the work that we do from the heart. You don't give blood, sweat, and tears to something you don't care about, right? You may recognize that your cares have changed over time, and that maybe now you want to put your blood, sweat, and tears towards something different. But what I'm picking up here is that whatever's happening for us financially or business-wise, it's an effort of the heart. It's an endeavor of the heart. And therefore, it can be highly emotive. So let's see what it might be grounding this in a little bit, because we've got 3 triangle shapes here with this Knockwood deck. There's 2 inversed, and they're right next to each other. And then on the bottom card here of this 4-card layout is the upright triangle, and it's Pioneer energy. So Pioneer energy is the willingness to find your new way forward, right? Like to be willing to strike out in a different direction. And this is seeming to be in alignment with your heart's desires, right? So you may have recently had some epiphanies that the work that you've been doing is no longer in alignment with your heart's desires for your life. And it's important that people in general recognize that money is energy, and that it's by having an abundant and heart-centered approach to your work is what brings you your financial abundance, right? It's hard to generate financial abundance if you're copying, if you're not working from the heart, if you're doing things that are inauthentic to who you truly are. It's much harder to generate your harvest that way. So it's appreciated to see here this pioneering spirit energy of being willing to strike back out and go with something that's more in alignment with your heart right now. There's also guardian energy present, and it's meaning to me that you need to protect whatever it is that you're working towards. A guardian is a protector. It's a fluid symbol here. Why am I having trouble spotting? I like to read some of his descriptions, the guy that created this deck, but it's nurturing the potential that you are onto and that you have moving in accordance with you. Like, if you're being this pioneering spirit here, you're also recognizing that it's important that you protect the work that you're doing that's so heart-centered. I find it interesting that every financial knockwood layout I've done so far has had an ace, I think. So it means to me that these are striking right to the heart of things for the people that value this type of layout, a career or a business or a financial layout. And I love the concept of money being energy. Like, abundance can get obstructed if you get too fixated on like the physical manifestation of the money without just being in the energy of abundance. I know that sounds very secret, like the secret type energy, but it's really true. It attracts like. So if you're seeing your work and your garden as abundant, you're going to continue to generate more and more abundance like that. And then where the energy is headed is visionary. So you're onto something here. This is something really beautiful that you're working on. It's visionary for you. It's a project of the heart. You're willing to protect it, and you're willing to go for it. You're willing to take the leap. So you might be thinking about starting a new project or a new business or a new side hustle, something that you want to get off the ground. And you're lit up for it, and you're passionate about it, and you seem grounded in it. It doesn't strike me as, a pipe dream or something that isn't grounded in any kind of reality. In fact, it strikes me as being grounded in courage. The courage to be the guardian, and the courage to be the pioneer, and the courage to be a visionary. It takes courage to be in all of those places. And when you think about where you feel bravery and courage, it's not in your mind. That's in the heart center. Your body is heart-led. We often don't want to acknowledge that in Western society, but those kinds of endeavors where you're actually a warrior and fighting, it's usually because it's something you're passionate about, and the passion comes from the heart, not the mind, right? So that's important to pay attention to. You're much likelier to be successful when you're doing something like this, like what you are, which is very connected to your heart. What else is important to know about this endeavor? What questions might help to ask yourself or to ask the people that you're working with? If you could have a committee of 3 people, living or dead, to help you make decisions, whom would you choose? So, because this is an endeavor of the heart, it strikes me that you would be asking people who have done work that's close to the heart, either like for humanity or the planet, or something creative that brings something beautiful into the world, something that protects children or vulnerable adults. It could be anything like that, right? And who are the 3 people, living or dead, that you would want to consult with? It would be wise to think on those people right now and maybe use some of their approaches, how they approach their craft, and emulate that kind of dedication or something. Share your feelings about changing jobs. Well, isn't that important and perfect for this, right? Because we were just suspecting that this is a new project, and it's something that you're starting to be more in alignment with your heart. It's the inception. It's the Ace of Hearts, right? Card. You're being a pioneer and a visionary by being willing to change jobs. It might have been something that was a long time coming, or that took you a long time to work up to, But now that you have made the choice, you're willing to protect it. You're willing to guard it, which is good because it's going to need that in times of doubt. One more of these Ungame cards. What other questions might be helpful to ask around a new project or your finances? Tell about a mistake you have made recently. So to me, that speaks to the guardian energy, that you can guard against potential pitfalls and mistakes by looking at and reviewing mistakes that have been made in your life and in your work in the past. If you look back on those mistakes, it can help you safeguard this new project against, a similar, like maybe you trusted the wrong person, hired the wrong person or something like that, right? So now you know for the future that you want to be a lot more careful in what kinds of questions you ask in an interview to the candidates that are wanting to work with you, right? It could be anything like that. It's helpful to review your mistakes. It's not always a welcome, I've been on committees and job sites in the past, like risk prevention and risk management, where part of the process is to review what went wrong in a situation. And that can be delicate. It can be, especially when you're dealing with a lot of egos, it can be, a lot of times people don't want to look at what has gone wrong. They don't want to face the embarrassment or the shame that they feel if they acknowledge that they've made a mistake. And so it's not easy to do that, but that might even kind of be a guide for you about like what kinds of people, living or dead, can you look to who've made a mistake and come back stronger from the mistake, for example, right? They could be good guides for you. What else about this project or endeavor of the heart? What type of project is this? What element, for example, is most active in you around this work project and this financial situation? The Princess of Discs. So you're currently in young feminine energy, feminine meaning energy poles, not necessarily gender, although you could be someone who identifies as femme. It's the Princess of Discs. So it's that youthful, enthusiastic, excited energy to build this into your material world. You're trying to make this manifest, this dream of the heart, the vision of the heart that you're guarding and protecting and striking out and going forward with. It's in that young stage of making it material. It's no longer just an idea. It's now coming into the world in material form. And a Princess of Discs because it's a youthful energy, that's the strength, but it also can be a vulnerability. You don't want to be naive. I think that's why it's saying if you could have a committee of 3 people, right? So that you don't go astray. You don't have to reinvent the wheel of your project. You can look to people in the past or in your current life who have that kind of thing on lock, right? Who have the discernment that you might need help with at this early stage, to help you know what pitfalls to watch out for. I cut the deck at the Wheel of Fortune. So that's what you're cultivating. You're going from a seed that has sprouted in your heart and is growing now into this beautiful project that is this pioneering, visionary project. When I cut the deck, it was the Wheel of Fortune. So it's in alignment with your destiny and it's going to bring in fortune for you. It's really beautiful. This is a really positive omen, right? Especially with this new year, in terms of the Roman calendar, this new year energy. If you can kind of ride the wave of not everybody looks at the new year like this, but many people do. Like a new year, it's a new opportunity. It's a time to be reborn. At the bottom of the deck is the Princess of Wands. So that's that really fiery new creation that you're operating from. You might be a fire sign, right? Or in any case, you're generating this beautiful creative endeavor, right? That's exciting and that's uplifted and's got you catalyzed a little bit. Yeah, the Two of Wands, Dominion. You're right at the threshold. It's super exciting. And you see the vision clearly, and you see that it's coming into being. It's an exciting time for you. I'm congratulating you, whatever it is. It sounds like it's a cool project. What's an animal energy that might help as well? We've asked about people. How about animal energies? What kind of an animal could be wise to emulate in their behaviors? Or that you, if you listen, they might guide you, right? In a dream or something. Cat, guardianship, detachment, sensuality. Guardian, that's here twice now. So guardian, this idea and being a guardian of your work is going to be really important. Also, detachment can help because it is such a heart-based project for you. That can cloud your judgment at times. And so I think detachment a little bit, not saying don't have feeling for your work, right? That's not right. But being able to be a little bit aloof or detached also from the outcome can help. Sensuality, mystery, magic, independence, wisdom, and vigilance. That's great energy to be accompanying you on this project. Deer. Agility, alertness, swiftness, stillness, gentleness, guile, innocence, grace, unconditional love, benevolence, and mistrust. The deer is often a guardian spirit as well, and a guiding spirit. It can sometimes represent the Virgin Mary. But the agility, alertness, swiftness, stillness, gentleness, right? The deer captures all of that, deer spirit. And so that's a really wonderful, and also I'm just going to say feminine kind of energy. And it's lovely to see as you're approaching this threshold to the new with this Two of Wands. You're approaching dominion over this dynamic. Fire and lightning is highlighted in this card. And you're in this feminine, making it material. To me, that deer also kind of is an echo of this Princess of Discs. It's a very beautiful, abundant energy. Discerning. It can be swift, but it can be still, right? Gentle, but mistrusting, right? So being a guardian of your creative work is very important here. Let's see, what other cards can I pull? I'd like to pull some oracle cards. Maybe I'm kind of feeling drawn to a deck I don't use as often, but it's because there's this kind of young feminine energy present. I'm gonna actually see what comes out of this deck. This is a deck that embraces the maiden, mother, and crone archetypes, and those archetypes are helpful to humanity, not just to women. So it's important to not think of this deck as a woman's deck, even though it highlights the feminine, right? We all have both within us. If you are starting a project or a business and you're not connected to your feminine energy, that's not good, right? Feminine energy is fertile energy. You need to be comfortable with the feminine aspect of self. At the bottom of the deck is card 28, moving forward. It's a very beautiful, fiery orange card. She's wearing a blue gown. God, that is so pretty. That's a beautiful image. And she's got a bird of prey flying with her. The first steps, and the message on the card says the first step is taken within our stillness. Wow, beautiful. I'm going to read her description, but I'm just going to pull one more card as well from this deck. Forgiveness. And that's a very heart-based energy, and it's card 26. So it's two young feminine energies that came through here, and it's really exciting to get to read for this energy. I love it. So I'm going to pull her book out. And first it's card 28. When we feel stuck, tired, or uninspired, we typically seek change, movement, or stimulation by adding something new to our lives. We may also be advised to do so by well-meaning individuals, the assumption being that an external alteration is the solution to the dissatisfaction. However, the only change the appearance of our lives typically However, to only change the appearance of our lives typically eventuates in the new place, career path, partner activity, or hobby losing its novel appeal and ending as abruptly as it began. Like a caged rat within its spinning wheel, our restless search for something, somewhere, or someone different resumes. Oversight to the futility of superficial change potentially sends us on a wildly blind and even reckless search for things to change about our lives and who we seem to be. This is all motivated by the false belief that we are improving ourselves and advancing. Rarely do we stop to ask the question, have I actually moved? Has anything really changed? Why, after the initial buzz of something new, do I feel the same inside? Instead of such self-inquiry, we chase after further means of escape in the multitude of distractions available to us. This buries and separates us further from accessing the satisfying state of being that we seek. Therefore, it serves us well to recall the truism, less is more, that instead of adding more to our lives to move forward, less is actually required. Releasing all that we no longer need to carry within moves us imperceptibly and yet irreversibly forward. Such a significant and sustainable change is then able to be genuinely reflected in our external lives. This is so on point with this heart-based energy. It's at the inception. You're right at the threshold. You're just going, and it's important to stop and ask these questions so that you're using discernment and not just jumping from thing to thing, right? You're being willing to embrace the stillness of the deer, to listen and watch and guard yourself and your idea. At times, knowing when to be in stillness. If our internal baggage remains in the same spot, so do we. Nature teaches us this through example. Its cycles of decay, regeneration, and growth model the true meaning of forward movement. Every year, fruit-bearing trees die to their fruitful self and shed their leaves. They release all of their dead weight to recreate anew in spring. What remains of the tree in winter is that which sustains it, extending itself ever upward and outward toward the sun. Through the winter, the remaining tree trunk and branches seem to be in stillness. However, it is from all that is unseen within its trunk and beneath the soil that the newness of its life emerges. Boom, that blood energy, the blood and the heart energy is really being impacted here, highlighted here. Should we remain still long enough, the beginnings of our true movement forward will come from within. This card shows up to invite you to sit within the cacophony of your present, shut your eyes to the drama, and review your inner landscape. Know that everything you release from within this stillness is a step forward. Moving forward in the physical plane through the form of a new location, job, project, or relationship only works when it reflects the new territory one has already arrived at from within. And you're doing that. This is a heart-based project for you. You know that. So you're in alignment. That's a really nice confirmation for you about making this change and going in the direction of your heart. There might be there might have been some sadness in why you're making this change, though, with this forgiveness card here. So I'm going to go ahead and read that one too. The only forgiveness that we can receive is that which we experience for ourselves. In essence, to forgive another, life, or the world is irrelevant as being forgiven by another, life, or the world. If we have not forgiven ourselves, we can neither receive forgiveness nor have it to give. Forgiveness is a word that often evokes in us a sense of defensiveness and anger. Why should we be the ones to forgive when we were the ones wronged? When exploring the concept of forgiveness, the key lies in the word wrong, and not in the doing or the doer of the wrong. Every happening is neutral in and of itself, and it as indifferent as nature. It is us who bring such notions of wrong, right, good, and bad to stimuli. For the wrong not to continue to be a reality that lives harmfully in our mind, body, and emotions, the physical effects of it need to be thoroughly released. Ideally, we release our distress like the wild animals that instantly rid themselves of whatever disturbance they experience by energetically purging it in a physically cathartic act before moving on, like when they shake it off, right? Once we release what is unforgiven from within ourselves, it ceases to have a negative charge and therefore ceases to live in us as toxic energy that detrimentally impacts and overshadows who we are, our health, and the rest of our life story. So there might be something from your past work that needs your forgiveness, right? Forgiving the institution that treated you badly, because it's not a person, it's an institution, right? Or something like that. I mean, institutions are made up of people, but they often take on a life of their own and grind forward without paying attention to the individual anymore, right? This is why the only forgiveness that matters is ours. We deactivate the negativity within and change what are energetically matched to in our external reality. Releasing the unforgiveness frees us into a higher vibrancy and creates a shift in our possibilities. The compulsion to unconsciously repeat unforgiven wounds ceases. This is why to forgive is all about ourselves and not about anyone or anything else. To be clear, this does not mean that we forget or deny another's or our own past actions. Instead, we release the negative charge and remembering from our body, emotions, and psyche. The beginning of everything true and the end of everything false starts the moment we forgive ourselves for having forgotten that we are not our bodies, our behavior, our memories, or the stories that we live out. Nor are we in any way how we have ever been mistreated or disrespected. We are not the wrong things done to us or that we may have done to others, nor are we made broken, defective, or less than from them. There is nothing to be fixed or added to. You are, however, always required to release anything that is unforgiven within you so that the loving white light that you are can transparently shine in all of its brilliance. And you're connecting to the heart. It's essential. Forgiveness is your way home. You are the only light that you need. Feel your way home to spirit self by replacing all that hurts within the shining white light of pure self-love that you are. When we forget the loving light that we are susceptible to believing in what we are not. Any external hurts that show up are means through which to recognize what still needs releasing. The white light of love releases you from the pain and suffering of believing in what is not you. I just think that is spectacular. It's really, really stunning. And it speaks to really emphasize what a heart-based project this is for you, for this collective that's catching this reading. It's come with pain. It came with a walking away and moving forward. But what is going to ultimately be your deliverance, right? And your joy and your salvation, especially because you're being willing to release, forgive, and let go of the hurt of the past. It's really powerful. I'm going to end the reading with some of my own cards here for just some parting words for this first quarter moon financial and business layout. And I'll have the blog post probably done tomorrow on my website. This newness of the new year is wonderful energy to lend to this. Keep your torch lit. It's perfect, just like the Two of Wands here, these Dominion torches, these lightning bolts. It's beautiful. Keep the torch of your heart light lit. Let go of your timeline. Trust the natural flow of nature and patience. That's that guarding spirit, that visionary spirit. Have the patience to continue to be true to your vision, right? Don't give up when you feel discouraged or that it's not happening fast enough. Let patience be helpful to you. Let the stillness of that deer energy be helpful to you. Shoot, I put that other animal card away. What was the other animal? I can't remember now. I'll pull it back out though before I take the picture. So I think that will do it for this layout. I hope you're having a nice evening and happy new year to you all, and I'll see you next time.